Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Made in New England interview series. I'm your host, Steve DeVries, and today I'm joined by Bill Pugh of the Closet Factory here in Boston. Bill, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
All right, Bill, why don't you start us out by letting our audience know a little bit more about you, who you are, and what does your business do?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah. My background's been in sales and marketing for most of my career. Started out at Black and Decker right out of college, going to job sites and selling tools. Left there as a VP of sales and marketing after 18 years and had a lot of opportunity to have experience in product marketing, product development, business development, M&A, sales, mergers, acquisitions. So yeah, it's been a kind of diverse background. Ended up with some other companies doing similar stuff. I won't bore you with my whole resume. And then my last position before I got into this was a commercial general manager at a company called Apex Tool Group, which was mechanics hand tools, and was leading their global business for about 3 years. So yeah, with that, I was looking for a new opportunity to take all these skills I've learned in manufacturing and sales and in construction and put them to use in something new. And that's where I came to Closet Factory.
So I've checked out the Closet Factory website, your website, and it's a little bit more than closets. It sounds pretty basic, but there's some pretty elaborate stuff in there. Maybe just tell everybody just a little bit more about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the hard part with the name, right? Yeah, it gets limiting what it can do. But yeah, think about any space in and around your house that needs storage or organization, or you want to make enhancement or make pretty. That's what we do, right? So whether it's I want to, I have a walk-in closet or a reach-in closet, or I have a garage, we do garage systems. I want a wine cellar. We've done those. We do home entertainment centers, pantries. Yeah, again, anywhere you can think about where you need doors, drawers, shelves, and we can do them in any finish as well. So whether it's, I want it to look like wood, or I want it to be white, or I want these kind of handles, I want these kind of functions, everything's 100% customizable that we do for everybody's space.
You may have captured a lot of people's attention with that wine cellar, just a guess.
Well, we're doing a bourbon bar too. That one's coming up.
So that's my speed.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. Me too. I can't wait to see it come together.
Well, so your factory, it's in Wilmington, Massachusetts?
Wilmington, yep, on Middlesex Ave, correct.
Okay. And how long have you has the business been there?
So I purchased the business just about a year ago, but the factory has been here since 2017. Prior to
Okay.
that, it was also in Wilmington in another location. It had changed hands from a couple owners, but yeah, great facility here that the former owner actually owns the building as well. Set up 18,000 square foot facility. We have about a 3,000 square foot showroom where we show a lot of the vignettes, just what I was talking about. You want to see a laundry room, you want to see a, entertainment center. Again, we do Murphy beds. I forgot to mention that, right? We do all sorts of different executions. So we have that so a client can come in and actually see the pieces and parts. Meanwhile, we're manufacturing in the back room. We have glass doors so people can see it. So yeah, we have a pretty lean team out there that we grab our materials, work them through our system, and load it up and ready to go for our guys to go install them.
I love it. So you've been there since 2017, and you've owned it for a year. What's driven your success, or we'll say the business's success first, but then in particular, your success over the last year?
Absolutely. Yeah, the biggest success I think is, we are a franchise, but so there's a great model we follow, but we're all independently owned and operated. We completely, have autonomy outside of having the name and reporting to run our business. And so what makes us successful is in the model of how we consult with our clients. We build around you and what you need. So it's very consultative. It's one of those situations you're calling up and said, "Hey, I finally want to move forward, Steve. You want to get that closet? Great. We send one of our designers out, sits down with you, understands all your pieces and parts, does the measurements, and then comes back and we go through a design system here." What's made it successful is the fact that it's a seamless offering, and we make it very clear and concise with the clients what they need. We're going to deliver what they need and meet their requirements. So, like I said, I think the model that we follow is great because it is literally building around what your requirements are. And I think that's what's made it successful in listening to the clients and giving them what they want, especially when you think about where these products are. They're in your home, or they're in one of your most intimate places, your bedroom, right? With a closet, right? or my play area where I want a man cave garage kind of stuff. So they're very, very important places. And that's really meeting them where they are and what they want has really been a great model and what excited me about actually coming to the business.
So, as a manufacturer of customizable solutions for your clients, but also being part of a franchise, I'm wondering what kind of KPIs or metrics are you using to make sure that the Closet Factory is indeed operating in a successful manner?
Absolutely. We use a lot of KPIs. In fact, there's some that we call corporate, right? The headquarters that say, hey, these are some yard marks of where you should be thinking about. But past that, with my manufacturing background and kind of being in a lot of different companies, I'm a big KPI person. I KPI everything. So it's not just manufacturing. I have it, 10 different ones for sales and a bunch of different ones for our installers team, as well as our operations team here. But as far as manufacturing, obviously, it's our cost of goods sold. How are we managing, our pricing? How are we managing the cost of materials? How we're buying them, as well as the cost of manufacturing. When you add in the total cost of people and time, right? Managing your overtime, managing your throughput, right? And how we're doing. We also have incentives for a lot of our guys as far as how many pieces they're able to put through in a time period to be effective to deliver, on what we need. And again, all the way through to other factors of how we're spending money, where we're spending it, where's it most effective. Again, what's our throughput through the factory, and making sure that we're actually beating our KPIs, right? And we want to be doing that all the time. Doesn't always work, right? Because we are a custom shop, so sometimes things get hung up or there's delays from a material coming in or whatever, so you have to pivot. But yeah, big KPIs. It's all about managing the details.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head in terms of what I was thinking about with the custom factor of your business, right? So you have lots of starting points in terms of your offerings, but if your clients are in there, they've all got different size spaces, right? They've all got different finish requirements and so forth.
Mhm.
So uh, manufacturing lends itself really well to KPIs, but when you throw that custom factor in every single time, I can imagine that it could be challenging sometimes from a KPI perspective.
It can, but again, what we focused on is what we can control through that customization process. In other words, we don't, we buy all the different materials. We don't manufacture the materials themselves. We're changing them and manipulating them into what we need. But having a CNC machines, which we do, as well as some finishing edge banding machines, what we're able to do is we do some of the same processes, although it's custom. So it might be different size and shape, but we're still using the same tools to do them. So then it's a matter of how well we're setting up our plan. We use a design plan called Cutright, which actually helps us plan out the optimal space per square inch of every board material. And then what our throughput is and maximization, obviously, of getting rid of not having too much waste, right? Because we don't want to be throwing this away. But how do you get it down to the the half inch around the border versus 2 inches around the border? And that's what we really focus on that to be able to affect each piece as we put it through.
Very cool. So for all the
Yeah.
other business geeks out there like myself, I love that type of stuff. So thanks for sharing that. Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
what excites you most about the future of your business?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that excite me. I mean, obviously, 1 year in, still learning a lot. And you asked earlier kind of the impact or what I've taken away, and it's really been about optimizing the business and really getting good at it. And it's fueling it, right? What excites me is getting the growth and be able to leverage what we've put together. We have an amazing team here. Obviously, it's all about the people, right? And I think we've got some great processes in place that we can leverage really well and really leverage it. As more throughput equals better cost per piece, right? And all this kind of thing. So, but what excites me about that is really being able to optimize our machines here. And I say machines meaning the whole, company. I kind of joke that, I feel like we're sitting on a sports car in second gear that I can't wait to throw it into third and then over to fifth once we get really going, more and more and more, right? So yeah, there's a lot of things that excite me. I think that the market's dynamic and changing. I think it's always going to be kind of cool with innovation and new products to see what we can do to meet clients' requirements. And then I'm talking a lot about manufacturing, but really being able to then have our factory really be the cornerstone to make everything successful.
So during COVID, a lot of people, couldn't spend money on vacations and other things, and I think we found that a lot of them were investing into their homes. Do you find that that trend has continued despite the fact that, the pandemic really is behind us at this point?
Um, Not really. And I say that
Uh,
with mixed, only because but again, I didn't own the company at the time, but obviously know this, the backstory. I mean, the business went crazy as many of in-home services type of products did. But the market's changing, right? The market is slowing down from the standpoint of how people are spending their money, being higher interest rates. There's other areas where they are spending their money doing international travel or other things that it's becoming more challenging, right? We have to fight a little bit harder to get those leads. We have to fight a little bit harder, to close those opportunities. But there is still very, very strong demand. It's just not what it was. And so, what we have to be is be a little sharper, be a little better, be a little, stronger at our sales and reach out and talk to our clients and resonate with them. So, it's definitely receded in our market. The good news is this location hasn't gone backwards. In other words, we haven't, the market has gone down, but we haven't. So it says we're taking a little bit of market share, which is great. But we still got a long way to go. We still got a long way to go. So there's definitely a lot of upside opportunities that we can take advantage of that, we're not maximized on yet. So,
and speaking of reaching out and, business development and so forth, you're based in Wilmington, Massachusetts. What is your geography that you're typically serving?
yeah, absolutely. So obviously Boston is our primary market. When you talk about Suffolk County, Norfolk County, Middlesex County, and Essex, those are kind of our big ones. But we serve, if you think about kind of Worcester East, as well as the Cape and the Islands, and then also into southern Massachusetts and Maine. And that's really our core geographic region. As we have exclusive within the franchise, we have exclusive regions.
Okay.
And so we don't compete with each other, which is great because there's a network of 55 other locations across the country that we work together on, and it's kind of this coexistence opportunity to learn from each other. But to answer your question, it's really Eastern Massachusetts, Southern New Hampshire and Maine, as well down the Cape and the Islands.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that's helpful. I mean, that's a pretty big geography. Certainly well
Big market.
populated.
Yeah, it's a big market. I mean, it's like you think about it, I think Boston's number 5 in the country as far as, the size and the opportunities that we have with it. It's a great market.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
so, I asked you what excites you about the future. What concerns you about the future? If you had a magic wand and you were able to wave it and maybe fix one thing about your industry or your business as you see it today, what
Yeah.
might that be?
Yeah, that there's so many different places to go with that answer. An answer on this one with this question, but you know, obviously when we sell a want, not a need. And so, one of the biggest concerns I have is, what does the geopolitical situation turn out to be? Do people shift their preferences on what they want and how they're going to spend money? Is there going to be, more issues, if you will? Those are kind of more macro things, but more issues that really don't affect our business directly, but will impact our business on how our consumers, spend time and money. If I had a magic wand, obviously what I would love to do love to do is be able to reach every consumer we can with our opportunities and our products, right? That's utopia. But the core thing of what I'd like to see happen is a really stable environment. Interest rates kind of become better, right? As well as the home situation for interest rates and mortgages, because that obviously helps our business when people move or people want to change their space and that kind of thing. So I gave you a couple of answers, I think, to one
Yeah,
basic
no,
question.
I think that's great, and it's interesting that you brought up interest rates because in the back of my mind, as I'm listening to you, answer some of these questions, I'm thinking, well, if people aren't moving, right? So they're the housing market we know is just there's not a lot of movement in it right now because of interest
Yeah.
rates, because of prices, and so forth. And part of me thinks, well, if like even my own personal situation, if I can't move because I'm sitting at this really great interest rate when I refinanced a few years ago,
Mhm.
I'm going to optimize my current space as best as I possibly can with whatever home
Sure.
improvement dollars I happen to have. But you see is just as big a market for people who are when they're relocating and wanting to do it up.
Right. Yeah. We have both sides of the coin, actually, which is kind of we're lucky about.
Okay.
So yeah, when people go to a new space, they want to optimize it, reconfigure it to what they want. But also, yeah, to your point, I think it's actually a stronger situation where people want to stay. right? We saw that in COVID, right? I'm home, I'm looking at the same four walls. I don't like the way these look. I want to make them better, paint them. I'm putting this, home office in. I'm, putting a new entertainment center. That's actually a big part of our market. But they say with interest rates, but a lot of folks are, they're putting them on credit cards. I mean, we don't have a cheap price tag product either. Our end products, we're selling $8,000 to $10,000 systems, right? So people are using their home equity line of credit, which you can't write off anymore, and interest rates are high on, right? Or your credit card, which is well above 20 something percent, and so it becomes from a cash perspective, a pinch, or can be a pinch. And that's where I worry a little bit about it. Is it just enough where people say, yeah, I'll wait, I'll wait, because interest rates are high. But
Gotcha.
yeah, you're right. People love to fix up the spaces that, I'm in the same boat, right? Great interest rate. Don't want to give it up, right? Why give it
Yeah.
up?
Well, so the show is focused on New England-based businesses. So you've been with your company now for a little over a year. You've owned it. What does being in New England mean to you?
Yeah, that's a personal one because I grew up in Rhode Island, so I'm a New Englander at heart. Many jobs I've had, I've been out of New England for many, many years, so it's wonderful to be back. So it means a lot to me because people here are very different than every region says this, but any other part of the country. But what I love about New Englanders is we're straight up people, right? We tell you how it is. We really care about our, our city and where we are and our people. We're passionate, obviously, about our sports. It was always fun to be a Patriots fan everywhere else and get yelled at by people. It was a moment of pride, as well as a Red Sox fan. So being in New England, I think has some great pros, right? It's certainly a very strong market. I think people resonate with locals, right? In what we do and supporting each other. And what I like also about it, comparatively to other areas I've been, is it's a compact market, right? Everybody's, you think about it, you're usually within a half hour without traffic to most places, right? To what you need. And so, yeah, it's just a great environment, I think, to work with people and really grow and have some fun with folks as well, because we are a unique bunch, aren't we?
We
So.
absolutely are. So Bill, last question. You had, prior to owning the Closet Factory, you had a very significant and successful career. What advice would you have for people that may have found themselves in a similar position where they want to own a business, they've got all of this experience? What advice can you give them in terms of coming into a business that, say, already exists and putting their stamp on it?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. And I think there's a couple interesting elements to that question as well, because, 2 years ago, if you asked me if I'd be owning my own business, that was a pipe dream, right? I'm so tired of corporate America. I want to do my own thing. To your point, I have all these skills. What is that? What am I going to do? The hard part was having the patience to keep figuring that out, right? And also having some really, really good mentors that I could work with to help spitball with and talk through ideas and what about and what it, and then also being able to network with folks and not being afraid to put yourself out there, right? You're going to fail at something where no one is perfect, right? So there have been some, I looked for about 2 years to try to find something, and I went down the road with some things that didn't work, went down the roads other things that were really interesting but maybe wasn't quite right. And so it was having the patience to kind of work through that to find it, and it's out there. It just takes some time, but again, and it's surrounding myself with really good people that will help build you up and help you through the tough times as you're working through stuff and figuring stuff out, right? I'm not the smartest guy in the room, I know that, but you have to leverage a lot of other people and and what they can bring to the table and partner. And so that was kind of this building block thing that took a lot of time. So if I look back 24 months ago to where I am now, it's like, how the heck did I get here? Well, there's a lot of steps I had to go through, which some were painful, right? Some were a lot of fun, but it's just a lot of work. Again, it's persistence with the right people, asking questions, putting yourself out there, networking. That is what it's all about.
All great responses, Bill.
Yeah.
So everybody, thanks for joining us today. Our guest has been Bill Pugh of the Closet Factory of the greater Boston area. Totally recommend you check out all the cool things that his business is doing on his website. Bill, thanks very much for joining us. You've been great.
Thanks so much, Steve. It's a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back with another episode soon.